to the best words in sports, Game 7, and we get to experience that right here in Oklahoma City tomorrow night as the Thunder host Memphis in Game 7, first round of the playoffs, Western Conference NBA playoffs. Joining me to talk about this, the Oklahoma's Jenni Carlson on this Bob Moore Ford Thunder update. So the Thunder beat Memphis last night in Game 6, really wasn't in doubt, forcing a Game 7 tomorrow night. Team back in town, they got here overnight, they practiced today, spoke to the media. Jenni, how was Mr. Reliable today?
Yes, Kevin Durant. Kevin in good spirits today. Obviously had his best game of the series last night, regained some of that consistency that had really been lacking in his game in the first 5 games of this series. Tony Allen really throwing him off his game. But last night, Kevin Durant got going early, and it continued throughout the game. He said after the game, and even reiterated today, that he basically took the mindset of, I don't care if the shots go in, I'm just going to play hard on defense and try to really spark my teammates there, create turnovers, create opportunities to get out and get on the break, which is obviously much easier scoring for the Thunder. So he really took a defensive mindset out there that then turned towards good offense and continued throughout the game. If he can continue to play like he did in Game 6 and Game 7, to me, it's going to be almost impossible, even as good as Memphis is, to keep up with this Thunder team because he is such a catalyst for so much else. He did say, though, as you mentioned, Mr. Consistency, he did say that he saw the billboards around town when they got home last night at 1 a.m. He said it's unnecessary. I know how people feel. He did mention that, but he's definitely taken it to another level. And in another elimination game, he's going to have to do that again on Saturday night.
He's a good guy. Let's talk about the coaching move that Scott Brooks made last night. Thabo Sefolosha had been in the starting lineup. He was replaced by Caron Butler last night, and I assume that'll be the case tomorrow night.
Yeah, Scott Brooks saying after practice today that they would stick with that lineup change with Caron Butler starting in place of Thabo Sefolosha. Now, I don't know if we'll see another 0-minute game for Thabo Sefolosha. You know, he didn't play at all, which was a huge change. I thought he would probably come off the bench after he didn't start, but they decided to not take him off the bench. He didn't play a single minute in Game 6. So whether that continues or not, I don't know. But Caron Butler, a more offensive-minded player than Thabo Sefolosha, and in this series against this Memphis team, you've got to be able to do some things to spread them out on the defensive end. And Caron Butler created a little more spacing, a little more offensive firepower out there. He's obviously able to get shots, but then he's also able to create some better looks, some better opening lanes out there for Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. And we saw the product of that as those guys got off to a good start, and that just sort of snowballed from there, building a big lead and going from there. So, yeah, starting him again tomorrow night, not a big surprise there. Now, if they survive tomorrow night, I wouldn't be surprised to see Thabo Sefolosha come back because they would be likely to play, well, they would play either the Clippers or the Warriors, and they'd need that defensive presence out there.
Clippers, Warriors, another Game 7 tomorrow night. The NBA playoffs all about adjustments. Memphis coach Dave Yeager, what does he do to adjust after last night's game?
Yeah, you know, it is going to be interesting to see if he feels like he's got another move on the chessboard to really try to throw the Thunder off heading into this Game 7. You know, Scott Brooks and this move to move Caron Butler into the starting lineup, completely under the radar. Nobody knew anything about it. I asked Caron today when he found out about it. He said it was actually midway through shoot-around before the game yesterday on Thursday. So he didn't even know, almost until, 7, 8, 10 hours before the game that he was going to be the starter. Now, he started throughout his career, so moving into that lineup, not a huge adjustment, but definitely something that Scott Brooks kept on the down low. So what does Dave Yeager do? And, I think a lot of people would say start Tony Allen, but there's been no sign that Dave Yeager is going to pull that card, and I don't anticipate him doing it because he hasn't done it to this point with as effective as Tony Allen has been on Kevin Durant. But it'll be interesting to see because he might have an added struggle out there in that Mike Conley, their starting point guard, who's been so effective both offensively and defensively, tweaked a hamstring that has been problematic for him this year. Haven't heard anything yet on his availability, but obviously if he's out and they're missing backup guard Nick Calathes with a drug suspension, does Beno Udrih play the whole game? Hard to say. There might have to be an adjustment there. How do they play that? Could be big in Game 7.
Absolutely. Game 7 Saturday night, Chesapeake Energy Arena. Tips off sometime after 7 o'clock. You can watch it on TNT if you're not at the game. Read more from Jenni Carlson online at newsok.com and in tomorrow's editions of the Oklahoman. And we had a camera today. Greg Singleton was there at Thunder practice. You can watch the sound bites from the coaches and players online later today.